And then just gonna start working on refining our breathing. Okay, I think I've done everything. Okay. All right, slow breath in through the nose, try to exhale the same way. If you are having some allergy problems like we were just talking about, and that's not completely possible for you, just be aware that, you know, when we do breathe in and out through the mouth, it does tend to dry us out a little bit. So ideally, we're doing that nasal breathing only here. And just notice, how do you breathe without thinking about it? Even when you're breathing in and out through the nose, right? Have you, as time has gone on and you've been doing yoga practice for a long time, I know you guys have been doing it for years, does your body just automatically start to get into that full deep belly breathing, or do you still have to really think about that? So again, we just want to be aware that the breath comes in, we start to let it come further than just up in the top of the chest here, in the throat, feeling the ribs moving up and out and in the back too, right? We have the ribs, the lungs that are all inside the rib cage. So they need to press outward in all directions. Also getting that breath to the belly. You should actually be able to see your belly, possibly, or take a hand there on the belly and feel it rising up as the breath goes all the way there. On the exhalations, training our bodies to know that that's the point that we can relax a little bit. If you're feeling some tension, I tend to hold a lot of tension in my shoulders, even in my face, and I try to make myself relax all of those muscles as I'm exhaling. So those first breaths are really important, just like at the end of our practice. We need to really prepare our bodies and our minds for what's going to come in our practice. So a couple more here. You don't have to be absolutely still. Any little movements that you need to kind of settle in, feel free to keep doing that. All right. If you're feeling like that breathing is feeling good now, it's slow, it's even, it's expanding the body, stay with that as you bend your knees. We're going to place our feet on the mat, and as I do that, I'm going to lift my hips up and just move a little further from the shoulder. So I want my torso to feel as long as possible. I also want to broaden across the chest. I want to feel like I'm moving my shoulders away from each other. Lengthen your neck, all the while breathing, nice slow breathing. Ujjayi breathing, always an option, that little whisper in the back of the throat if that's something that you like, if it works well for you. Arms are going to come alongside the body when everything else is in place. Should feel like the heels are about lined up with the very center of our glutes, and if you kind of feel up in there, you feel those little round bones. That's where our sitting bones are. The knees and the heels are kind of all in that same line on each side. And then reconnecting with the breath. If you happen to kind of get off track a little bit, you never have to move exactly when I'm moving or breathe exactly when I'm breathing. We want to really listen to our own bodies as we start a practice. So 2 more breaths here, just breathing. And then the next breath in, arms are going to come up off the mat. We're going to reach over our head. To see how far back you go on the breath in, the exhale brings our arms back to the mat. We're going to do that a few times. I know there are lots of yoga classes that always start in mountain pose or start sitting or standing on the mat. I use this one a lot, mostly because from back in the day when we had our gentle yoga class, it's a really good way to get the body moving and warmed up before we start to put a lot of weight on it. So let me know if you're ever getting bored of this one. I find it to be very useful personally. but it's certainly not all about me. So if you prefer starting class in different positions at times, let me know. All right, so we're gonna do two more, and again, we're just starting to feel more stretch through the arm, even getting into the sides of the body here, going down the torso here. Maybe you're feeling it in the upper back also. And again, just the arm movement. On the inhale, reaching. On the exhale, arms coming back down. Now, we're going to do the overhead stretch still on the inhale. But on the exhale, just take those hands and very gently pull the right knee in just a little bit. See how that feels? Foot goes down as we inhale, go overhead. Exhale, left knee in. So just start alternating, easy. Just don't overdo this. We don't want to bring the head off the mat. We want to keep everything else on the mat. And we're just easing that knee to the chest every time we exhale. And on the inhale, we're still doing that overhead reach. Let's do a couple more. All right, last time through. All right, now we're going to bring that right leg in again. Pull the knee in. Now we're going to do a little bit, like we always do, warm up for the hip. We're not going to use the strap right now on the extension, but you can always use it if you need it. Just be aware that you might have to take it off. We do want to have it ready for when we turn over and we're going to start pulling that leg up behind us. So right now we're just pulling our right knee in, trying to get the hip to relax a little bit more. All right, now take the right foot up a little bit. Keep the hands anywhere on the leg that you like, flexing and pointing. If you haven't done a lot of movement yet today, you can warm the feet up at any point, in any way that you need to, like maybe, tightening the toes, spreading them out in addition to the flexing and pointing and working from the ankle. It's almost not a wrong move you can make with the feet, right? How much are you on your feet throughout the day? Most of the time, right? And so a lot of times we have our feet in shoes, heavy shoes, maybe our feet can't breathe. They're held in a position all day long. So really important to get everything. There's lots of bones, muscles, and everything holding it together, right? The tendons and ligaments in the feet. So we need to get that moving at least once a day. If it's starting to feel warmer, you can certainly go into those circles at any point. And don't just do 2 or 3. Go for 8, go for 10 before you go the other way. It should almost feel tired, right? If you haven't done a lot yet today. So that's the foot, the ankle. We're going to bend the knee a little bit more and go into the hip now with just a few big circles here. So as you move the knee around, it really helps to move the top of the leg around in that hip socket. All right, we're going to go both ways. Again, same thing. Do a few of them. I always feel like this warms up a little faster for me than the foot. So, but again, listen to your body. Do what you need to. So that's good. We've worked the leg a little bit. Now we haven't really done the knee. So just flex, extend the leg, and then bend a couple of times. Easy. Not forcing it. So see how that feels. All right, now take that leg up. Hands are going to go somewhere lower than the knee, or maybe behind the knee. We're trying to keep the right hip down, but push that heel a little further away. Inhale, exhale, see if you can allow the body to relax a little bit more. Now you don't have to flex your foot hard like this. It can just be completely relaxed. Don't point it either. Try to keep it somewhere neutral. If that leg is feeling pretty good where it is, I want you to slide that left foot all the way out. So both legs are long. We're not forcing anything here, just allowing the body to lengthen. All right, we're going to come into a twist. So we're going to bend the right knee as we inhale. On the exhale, we're going to twist, pull that knee across. Now, I've got my strap really close by here because I'm going to use it on my foot in just a minute. But for now, shoulders on the mat, right arm moving out, extending away from you, pulling that right knee across. So you've kind of got your hips stacked on top of each other, but the shoulders are still flat on your mat. Now, if you don't need a strap to grab a hold of the foot, you don't need it. You don't have to use it, but I'm going to demonstrate that. So I'm going to take my strap. I've got my loop in it already. You don't have to do that. Some people like an open strap, whatever works for you. I'm going to put it around my right foot. Now, I'm going to roll completely. I'm going to have my back to you for a moment. Completely onto my left side. My bottom leg, I don't keep it completely straight because it's hard to balance on that. I'm going to bend it. It's like a little kickstand here. And I'm going to pull this right heel up behind me. Now, you can reach low back here, or you can reach up over the shoulder if you're using that strap. So I'm trying to pull the strap over my shoulder and pull this right foot behind me close to the hip. Now, you can probably hear me, but you don't want the knee to be pointing up at an angle. You want the legs pretty parallel, so that right leg is parallel to the ground, and then you're pulling that right heel up. So we're just going to go ahead and hold that. Try to keep everything else completely relaxed. And again, if you don't need the strap, you might be able to hold on just fine like that. All right, we're going to ease out of it. So as you come around, you can take the strap off, move it to the other side, and we'll be ready for the left. Stretch that right leg up one more time. Then bring the left foot up next to the right. Pull the knees into the chest and roll your back a little bit. We're going to set it up. We're going to do the whole little sequence on the left. So get it all lined up again. All right, so arms right next to you. Take at least one breath cycle, maybe two. All right, and then when you're ready, arms go up on the inhale. On the exhale, pulling the left knee in. Again, giving it a little time here. And then extending that left foot up, again, holding wherever comfortable for you. Flexing, and then pointing. And again, maybe taking some time to do some movements with the toes. All right, again, take a lot of time flexing and pointing, and then starting those circles, and we want quite a few of those too. All right, both ways. Flex and point. All right, letting that knee bend and starting to work inside the left hip. So move that left knee around. Make sure again that you're going quite a few times each way. All right. And then extending that leg back up. Once you've got the right leg, or sorry, we're on the left now, aren't we? We've got that left leg extended up. Stretch the right leg all the way out. Give that hip a moment to relax. Think how often our legs are straight at the hip and our legs are bent. Mine are bent a lot more, driving, sitting. And so to just stretch the leg out to the normal position, I sometimes feel like I can actually feel those muscles lengthening. So when we're trying to stretch deeper, like we are today with our strap, it can really take some time for your body to kind of let go. Our bodies have that tendency to kind of hold on to things that may be a little uncomfortable. So give yourself some time on this. All right, so getting ready to just twist for right now. We're going to inhale, bend that knee. You're going to use that right hand to pull the left knee across. And my left arm, can't see it, but it's extended away from me, and I'm trying to keep that shoulder down. So pull that knee across. The left hip should be on top of the right hip, but shoulders are flat on your mat. All right, so getting ready to go completely onto the left side. So if you need a strap, this is where you're going to grab it and kind of loop it around that left foot, if you can. And then also you can just hold on to the foot or ankle, wherever you like. Now, as I roll to the right, notice that instead of keeping that right leg straight, I bend it a little bit at the knee. And it's better to have the knee in front of you than bend it back, if that makes sense. Because now we're going to prevent ourselves from rolling forward or rolling back. And here we go, trying to pull that left foot up. Now, bring the leg parallel first. Relax the rest of the body. And then, if you like, bringing that hand above the shoulder, pulling the leg that way. It's a little awkward this way for me, so I don't like to hold the strap that way. I like to have it up and around. But if you can easily grab your foot or ankle, then you're just going to grab on there. But once we get a hold of it, bring that leg back down. Try to keep it parallel to the other leg, parallel to the ground. And just hang out there. Again, notice what feels tight, if anything. Notice if there's a big difference from right to left. Because that's going to transfer when we eventually stand up. Try to do this with a balance today. All right, getting ready to go ahead and release. So we're going to go ahead and take the strap off if you had it. Now keep it nearby, because again, we're going to use it when we're face down on the mat. So I'm going to put it to where, back to my left side, if that makes sense, because then when I flip over, it'll be on my right side. But not like it's going to be that far away anyway, if you don't get it on the correct side. Stretch that left leg up one more time. Bring the right leg up too. Bend the knees, roll the back a little bit. All right, so now we're going to make our way up to our hands and knees. Feel free to rock yourself on up. Feel free to roll it over, use your hands. Come on up, get everything in line. Now, if your knees are tender, like I've got a couple of mats here. It's pretty comfy. My poor old knees. Feel free to use a blanket. Use a couple mats or whatever you need to do. I mean, we've even seen those little knee cushions that some people used to have, wrist cushions. When you're moving in and out of things, sometimes having that extra stuff can get in the way a little bit. When you're standing up, you don't want anything, too thick, because then it is harder to balance. But if it enables you to do certain poses longer and more comfortably, like hands and knees, things like that, it's well worth it to take an extra few seconds, not like it takes minutes, and set things up to be comfortable. Hands under the shoulders, spread those fingers out. All right, now arms are long, just below the point of locking, right at the elbow. So if you actually lock the elbows, and then you just let them relax a little bit. Try to point the pointy part away from you, not towards you. Sometimes we do push-ups like that, but on this time we want to have the inside of our elbows facing each other. Inhale, now lengthen. You want the crown of the head to feel like it's pulling forward. Long neck, shoulders away from the ears. Find your breathing again. Can you still feel that belly expanding on the inhale? On the exhale, A little bit of a contraction if you like. Pull the belly in a little bit, not anything crazy tight, but just making sure that you're feeling that connection. Okay, a couple times. Oh, my foot's cramping. If you notice that my toes are under my foot is cramping for some reason. All right, couple more times. Just staying here on all fours as we start. Now, when it feels ready to you, flowing now, inhaling into cow and exhaling into cat, and letting it just happen. Ease into it if you're not ready for the extremes yet. Lifting the chest and tailbone as we inhale. Exhale, we're arching up, and let the head drop down. Inhale, lengthening and lifting, and exhale, arching. So let's do a few of these. We're trying to get more length in our spine, warming that up, getting the blood flow in there. Couple more. After this cat pose, inhale to straight back. If you need a break, of course, come off the hands at some point if you're feeling like a lot of pressure in the wrist. You can also, remember, you can kind of elevate so you're not at a 90 degree with the forearm and the hand. You can always elevate a little bit with some rolled up towels if you need to. I want you to swing your hips side to side. So we're not really going into that dog, was that happy dog? But I want you to push your hips right and left. And just notice how, as you're keeping everything else in place. And now, exhale, push your hips to the right and look over your right shoulder. Inhale as you center it. Exhale, push your hips left and look over the left. So trying to curve the body side to side rather than up and down. So do that a couple times. Last time. Inhale back to center. Exhale, child's pose. Feel free to modify this and get comfortable, whatever that means to you. All right, we're going to just make our way into a little downward dog here. So move those arms forward a little bit. Tuck the toes. Press it up and back. If you're ready for a longer downward dog, you can walk those hands further out. If you want to work on the lower body first, feel free to do that. Upper body, any kind of movements that help you to stretch it out. I'm always more in favor of slower movements rather than fast, pushing the heels down too fast, but that might just be me. Gotta always listen to your body, try to give it what it needs and wants. All right. Okay, when you're feeling like it's lengthening out and really feeling the stretching through everything, really pressing that upper body back. Now, we're going to not go through the flow just yet. I want you to inhale to plank, lift your heart forward, and then exhale back to downward dog. And just see how that alignment is working for you. Are you able to get the shoulders over the hands? Inhale, plank. Exhale back to downward dog. Now this time we're going to make it through that flow. So you can bring the knees down if you like to modify when we get into that. So inhale, plank, or modified plank. See how my body stayed long. Exhale, lower. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, child's pose. Push it back. You can bring the arms in at any point. You can keep them forward. We're going to do that a couple more times before we end up staying face down and working those hips again at a different angle. All right, coming to downward dog whenever you're ready. Remember, this is your flow, so do as many as you like, do it at whatever pace you want. Inhaling to plank or modified plank. Exhale, lower. Inhale, cobra. Lift the heart. Pull those shoulders back and down. Exhale, child's pose. Rest as long as you need. You've got one more the same way whenever you're ready. I'm not going to cue you. I'm going to let you just go on your own. So remember, when we get into our, come out of our plank on the next one, we're going to be there a little bit longer. So join me there when you're ready. So we're not going to go into that cobra pose. We're going to bring the arms either long, or we're going to start with the right leg. You can take this left arm around and bring either the forearm or the hand under the forehead. I find the forearm is a little more comfortable, but again, it depends on your shoulder. Now, reach back with that right hand to the right foot, or grab your strap again. There we go. Once you've got the strap, I'm going to try to get the rest of the body down. And the legs come not touching, but certainly we don't want that right knee angled away from our midline. All right, so we want that knee pointing away from us. Everything relaxed. I'm going to try to pull this foot in, or use the hand on the foot and pull it in. Now, if this is a pretty easy one for you, a couple things you can do here is you can actively press your right hip. Think of that little pointy bone that we have at the very front of the hip. Think of pushing that bone a little more actively into your mat. And then if you've got your hand on the foot, you probably have it reaching from the outside of the foot to the inside, that big toe joint. One thing that we do eventually try to get to when we're doing our standing dancer pose is, I always say, change the grip. So reaching from the outside, I want you to see if you can turn your hand so your fingers are reaching away from you and kind of across the arch of your foot, if that makes sense. Now, it feels a little weird laying down, but when you're standing, this allows us to get that leg to go a little further back. So you can try the grip. If it doesn't feel good, just go back to the other one. It really transfers better when you're standing and trying to let that leg extend. All right, we're going to go ahead and release that leg. Again, strap moves to the other side if you're going to use it. Bend the knees and just roll the legs side to side a little bit. We'll do the other side also, but just give this. So this right leg is just kind of getting a little massage across the front of the thigh. And then we're going to bring either the right arm or right hand under the forehead. Again, you can have your hand or your face on the mat. I just don't like that. Reaching back with that left hand to the left foot, ankle, lower leg, or strapping it. I'm going to go without the strap this time. And then just pulling that heel toward the hip. I can really tell a difference on this leg when I push my hip more actively into my mat. Man, I really feel that tightness in the front of the thigh. This is kind of a passive stretch. This is more of an active stretch by pressing the hip. And as you're pressing the hip into the mat and then pulling that heel closer in. Whew, I can feel that one. And then just for fun, if you think you might be trying this later, switch the grip around. So I'm going to go palm of the hand to the, like under the arch of my foot, and then the fingers reach around the arch to the top, if that makes sense. Just give it a try. All right, releasing that foot, same thing. You know, it's funny, it's like The first time we do something new with our body and it feels really weird, and we're like, ooh, I don't, why is this so uncomfortable? But sometimes we have to make ourselves, roll the legs again, we have to make ourselves do those things that are uncomfortable. And then after a while, it's like, okay, now my muscle memory is remembering it, my brain remembers how to get there, and so it starts to feel like we can do it a little more easily. All right, so bring those legs back down. Go ahead and bring the hands back under the shoulders. Tuck those elbows in. I like to think of it as wings. We're pulling our wings alongside the body. Now inhale, cobra. Exhale, child's pose. 3 breaths here. We're getting ready to stand up, so let's take a little breather first. So come back to your downward dog. Same thing here. I want you to do about 3 full breath cycles once you're here. And then just look forward. You're going to start to walk the feet. Bring the hands more to the edge of the mat. Bring the feet under you. Come into that forward bend. If you've got blocks nearby, you're going to want to have those nearby as well. Let the head just hang. Hands can be wherever you find them that works the best for you. Now, if you're feeling like those hips are still kind of pretty far back, like you're not that stretched out, go ahead and move the hips a little more forward. So that kind of, we think about the back of the hip lining up with the back of the heel, and then just let the head relax. And you do not have to be completely still here. I really like that active feeling of kind of shifting my weight around and noticing what's still feeling tight. All right, getting ready to roll up. So I want you to tighten up the belly and just roll it up. Let your head stay heavy. Let your head come up last. Once we're upright, roll those shoulders back. Lift the chest up. Bring the chin forward, do a little half circle, roll the neck a couple times. Hope you're not hearing this crunching that's going on in mine. All right, chin to the center. Inhale, lift the chin, look up a little bit, not over your head in the distance. Exhale, chin down. Inhale, chin up. Exhale, chin down. Inhale, chin up. Look center. Now look over the right shoulder as you exhale. Inhale, front. Look over the left. Inhale, front. Try to not let the shoulders move too much. Do that right and left one more time. And then the last one I want you to do is a little tilt, tilting your head to the right, not shifting the whole body. That's kind of a bad example there. So tilt your head right and left a couple times. All right, coming into our mountain pose. Take the arms up. Inhale, exhale. Bring your hands through to your heart and slowly roll down to that forward bend. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, forward bend. You should notice a big difference. Inhale, back up. Exhale, mountain pose. Try to notice a big difference. Hang on one sec. Try to notice a big difference from your forward bend to your halfway lift, right? Inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward bend. You can always bring the hands through to the heart if you prefer that. Hands to the floor. Inhale, lift halfway. Again, we can use our blocks here. We can use the floor. We can use the shin bones, but whatever we do, we want to get that back as long and straight as possible. Inhale here. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, back up. Hands through to the heart. Coming back to mountain pose. Next option, inhale, arms up. Exhale, diving over. So it's like your heart is leading you into that forward bend. Inhale, lift halfway. And just show lots of options. So you can always find something that's going to work for you. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, back up. Exhale, mountain pose. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward bend. Now inhale, half lift. Once you're here, wherever those hands are, make sure your belly is tight. You feel very strong here. Lift your heart forward. See if you can bring the arms alongside you without collapsing. We can also move the arms further out. It just gets a little bit more challenging the farther the arms go from your torso. So keep that in mind. Take a breath in. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, back up. Exhale to mountain pose. All right. We're going to get into our flow again. We're going to get into our downward dog and then just start to work into a few warrior poses today. Not a whole lot because it's already more than halfway through. And I do want to work on those balances today. So when you're ready, arms up. Dive over. Lift halfway. Exhale, forward bend. Step back to your plank again. Inhaling as you get there. Exhaling as you lower. Inhale, cobra, or if you want to come into upward dog, once you lift up, you're going to lift those hips up, pull the toes more under you, lift the heart. Now you can exhale right into downward dog if you like, or go through child's pose and join when you're ready. All right, we're going to take that right foot all the way through. Bring that left foot a little more forward. Try to find your warrior one legs. If you get up and you're not quite there, you're going to have a moment to fix it. So we're going to lift the chest up. Arms can come up. Now if you're feeling a little wobbly, bring your hands to your hips. Make sure everything's in place. The feet are definitely still in that wider stance here. Left toes angled slightly out. Now bring the shoulders down, lift your heart. Keep that knee moving forward and to the right. We never want to let it come toward the middle of our mat. Come to cactus arms. So palms forward, elbows in line with the shoulders. Energize, squeeze that upper back, tilt the heart a little higher. 3 breaths here. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, open to warrior 2. Line the front heel, back arch. Turn that body, looking over the right hand. All right, side angle pose, lean into the leg. Left arm up or extended variation. Don't close it out over the ear, have a little distance here. Still pressing that right knee forward and to the right. Inhale back to warrior 2. Reverse warrior, right arm up. Back to warrior 2. All right, deep breath in. Exhale, turn, find your high lunge. So you want to be on the ball of the back foot, heel up. That right knee still over the foot. Take those arms up and back if you can. And always keep the hands here for better balance. All right, drop the hands all the way down. Step back to downward facing dog. 3 breaths here. Now feel free to go into child's pose and rest. I'm turning around to the other side. We want to we're going to do the whole series on the left. So again, resting in child's pose, staying in that downward dog. All right, we're going to look forward. Step that left foot through. Step the right foot in a bit. Come up. If you're not quite where you want to be, feel free to fix it. Find your perfect warrior 1. Right, so I definitely don't have my legs lined up on this one. My hips and shoulders are lined up. All right, take those arms up, shoulders down, and then see if you can lift the heart. Just take the gaze a little higher. Now cactus arms here, shoulder blades together, elbows right here. We're gonna Think of that whole upper body tilting upward a little bit, energized through the arms. Keep your neck long. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, open to warrior two. So now again, line up that front foot, that back arch. Turn the body. Don't let the knee come with you though. There's a lot of work happening here, right? Looking over that left hand. Side angle pose. Lean to that leg. Right up. Now use your blocks if you prefer. If you notice the chest is starting to turn down, I have a harder time on this side still. So I have to really work to open that chest. So I don't want to extend my arm because it really closes it out. I'm going to keep reaching up with that arm. Inhale back to warrior two. Reverse warrior. Turn the palm up. Float that arm up and back. And then come back to warrior two. From here, turning to the lunge. So as I turn, I separate the feet again. Pull that back heel up. Take the arms up, shoulders down. Find the balance between that front and back leg. And then take your time. Bring the hands back down. Get back to downward dog. 3 breaths here. And then bring the knees down, come to child's pose, take a little break. As I said, we're going to be working on balancing today with that dancer pose, which is the foot coming up behind us. So keep resting for a moment, but think ahead. Once we get upright on the mat again, you're going to want to use your strap possibly, but feel free to use the wall, doorway, anything like that. So let's make our way there, come out of it by starting in our downward dog. Walking the feet forward, coming to a forward bend. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward bend. And inhale, all the way back up. Coming back to mountain pose first. And then getting ready to go into our balance. Now, I'm going to have my strap handy. I'm not sure if I'm going to use it. We'll see how it goes. But I want you to find a wall or doorway if you think that's going to help you. If you're feeling like your balance feels really spot on today and you want to just try it at the top of your mat, that's fine too. But a couple things to think about. When we go from the 2 feet to the 1 foot, I don't want you to feel a dramatic weight shift. All right? Because we're pulling up through the center of the body. And I like to use my opposite hand. So if I was going to do my left leg first, I have my right arm up. For me, envisioning that I'm holding on to something really helps me to maintain that lifted feeling through my supporting leg. You decide which leg you want to work on first, okay? So we're going to start at the top of the mat. I'll try to not say right and left, but loop 1 foot. All right. Take that opposite arm and reach up. Now, if you're at the wall, you can start with the arm at about shoulder height and then gradually go up. But if you're using that strap, we want to start to pull that foot up behind us. The knees are pretty close together. The knee's not out here or up here. It's pointing straight down. Now, as I start to feel more balanced, I can start to let the knee point behind me more, and I'm going to lead with my upper body. Harder with the strap for me. I'm going to try it without, same thing. This is where, if I'm going to lean forward as I pull the leg back, I change my hand to the arch of the foot, and I start to, as I bring that leg up and back, woo, that's not good. You do start to let the upper body move forward just a little bit to counterbalance the weight. So there's a lot happening. So just like me, if you're finding that you're losing it real quick, come back to what you can maintain. Maybe that's just pulling the foot up behind you today. That's fine. When you do come out of it, you want to come back to mountain pose. Shake it out a little bit. When you're ready to do the other side, same thing. Either grab that strap, grab the foot or ankle, do whatever you're going to do with that opposite arm, either reaching up, using the wall, whatever. I recommend having the wall in front of you versus to the side, just because when our hand goes to the side, our body goes to the side. So if you can, go to a wall if you need that. Same thing, start to work that leg up and back, balancing, staying tall through your support leg. I can lean forward, I don't have to change the hand grip. Can't tell what it looks like because when I look to the side, I lose my balance. So give it a try. It should be fun. Shouldn't be stressful. Don't worry about it if you don't balance, no big deal. There's nothing wrong with standing here. You know, maybe your foot's only about here. Still important to try to have the knee pointing down, even if your foot's further back, okay? Don't have the heel up all the way to the glute if your knee has to go here. All right, once you've done both sides, make your way back to mountain pose at the top of your mat. Roll those shoulders up and back. Take a full breath in and out here in mountain pose. Next inhale, bring the arms up. Exhale, forward bend, dive into that. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, forward bend. Slowly step back to your plank again. Inhaling as you get there. Exhaling as you lower. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, child's pose. Come all the way back. All right. Take as much time as you need there, but if you are going to come out of it, I'm going to turn back the other way. We're going to go ahead and sit on our mat. We're going to do one forward bend before we go down, so make sure you feel like you're evenly connected to that mat. Oh wow, guys, sorry, we're running a little bit late. All right, arms up, inhale, forward bend, exhale, reaching forward. Now you've got that strap handy, so you can always take it around the balls of the feet and start to pull that upper body in. Think of the spine as remaining as long as possible before it gets rounded. So inhale, exhale, ease into it, but don't shorten it back here. Keep the chest moving forward, moving forward towards your feet, if that makes sense, rather than mid-thigh. Okay, we're going to come out of that. We're going to bend the knees. Now, if you don't want to roll down from here, turn to your side and make your way down. If you want to, we're going to pull those abdominals in and roll it down. All right. Once you get all the way on the back, we're going to bring those knees into the chest. Give that lower back a massage. Move around a little bit. All right. Bring your feet up and flex and point both feet a few times. And even here, I like to make them work together a few times and then make them work opposite each other. Same thing with the circles, going together and then opposite. All right. All right, bring the knees back in. We're going to keep that right knee in, stretch the left leg out. So let's go ahead and try the twist that we did earlier. We'll add on a little bit. So open that right arm. Inhale first. On the exhale, pull that right knee across. Now this time we're just going to keep the knee in the twist. Keep the right shoulder down. Eyes wherever you like. All right, now as you roll onto your back, let's go ahead and come into our thread the needle. So the right foot goes across that left knee. We want to start to press our right knee away from us. You can stay right here if you like. If you want a little bit more, you're going to bring that left foot up. Again, optional using that strap right there and pulling the left knee towards you. Make sure that this right knee doesn't come too close. So we want to still keep it pushing away from us. So there's a lot happening here. Try to keep the rest of your body relaxed. All right. Go ahead and bring your right foot to the mat. Pull that left knee a little closer into the chest. And then stretch your right leg all the way out. Getting ready to twist, so right hand stays on the knee. Open that left arm as you inhale. As you exhale, pull that left knee up and across. All right, getting ready now to go onto the back again. As we do that, take that left foot to the right knee. Option to stay here or bring the right foot up. All right, let's see, do we have time for one more twist? Yes, we do. Uncross the legs, hug the knees into the chest. Now we're gonna twist with the legs together. Both knees right, both knees left. So you have a couple of choices here. You want to bring your feet to the mat. You can do it with legs apart, parallel to each other, but keeping the feet like that gives a little bit different feel to the twist. Next option is feet and legs touching. That gets us a little deeper into the twist. Or if you bring your feet off the mat, that's going to be the most intense. And if you like doing crossovers, feel free to do that too. Whichever. We're just going to do one right and one left. So choose something that's going to feel really good and just open those arms out. Give yourself a little bit of a base right here. And then inhale. On the exhale, twist and bring those knees all the way across. Now, as we're trying to get that right leg down to the floor, but if it's bringing your left shoulder off the mat, bring that left shoulder back down, even if the knees aren't quite to the floor. But just trying to get the deepest twist that we can here with both knees over there to the right. All right, bring the knees up as you inhale. Exhale, twist them to the left. Same thing, trying to keep both shoulders on the mat, whatever variation you're choosing. All right, inhale as the knees come back up. We're doing one last little knee to chest roll here, a little lower back movement. Now before we completely get ready for Savasana, let's do a quick little butterfly stretch. So bring the feet together, let those knees drop open, and if you want to, you can have the arms at shoulder height or even a little higher. We're trying to get the backs of our hands onto the floor, trying to get into a position that's comfortable. You're not having to be in a strained position to stay there, right? And just starting the breathing process, not pushing our knees down, not pushing our shoulders down, but just on the exhale, just see if you can let that tension go and relax into it. You can certainly stay there for Savasana if you like. If you want to bring the legs all the way down, go ahead and bring your knees together, stretch the legs out. Arms are going to be a little lower now, but not too close to the body. You want to go to the wall, put your legs up the wall, do that, lay on your side, use a pillow, use a blanket, whatever you need. But once you've decided where you want to be for Savasana, focus on the breathing again. It's so important to get us where we need to be, just even for a minute or two. You have longer to stay here. I highly recommend it. Every once in a while, it's really nice to just enjoy that. As soon as you can, connect with that breath. Feel it still expanding throughout that upper body. Feel it letting the body relax on those exhalations. All right. You can stay resting if you like. If you're ready to start bringing yourself back up, I want you to take a deeper breath in and out. And then just returning more to your normal breathing. Make some little movements with the fingers and toes first. You can roll to your side at any point. Use as little energy as possible as you bring yourself back up. I'm going to bring my hands to my heart and say namaste. Thank you for joining me. I'm going to come back over and talk to my live people. So go ahead and unmute yourself now.